There are new details on the Madera mother's guilty plea in the deaths of her two children. Preseda Sran pled guilty to the deaths of her 2-year-old son and her 4-month-old daughter. Her husband, Sukhjinder Sran, also pled guilty for his involvement in their son's death. CBS 47's Catherine Phillips is live in the studio with more. Catherine.
Well, Catherine, police first looked into the death of the couple's daughter in 2015, but the cause of death was undetermined and neither parent was charged. Then in 2020, when their son went missing and was later found dead, investigators reopened their daughter's case. Now both parents will spend years in prison.
You know, this is just a particularly heinous crime, and you would expect to see some emotion from these people.
Madera County District Attorney Sally Moreno says it was unsettling watching the parents of 2-year-old Thaddeus Saran and 4-month-old Davina Saran in court on Monday.
They entered their guilty pleas and accepted responsibility for these killings. It was candidly quite chilling to see the lack of emotion from both of them.
Preseda Saran pled guilty for the deaths of her 2 young children and is now going to be sentenced to 28 years and 8 months in prison. Her husband, Sukhjinder Saran, only charged with the death of their son. He's also pleading guilty. He'll be sentenced to 11 years in prison. Moreno says this case dates back to 2015, but it was the death of their son in July 2020 that led investigators to reopen their daughter's case. She says in 2015, police didn't have enough evidence to charge either parent. Sukhjinder Saran was out of town at the time, and the cause of death was labeled undetermined. But 5 years later, their son went missing on July 14, 2020. 9 days after that, Madera police announced murder charges for both parents.
Attorney, I'm always looking at what can I prove to 12 Madera jurors unanimously. And when this family now has had 2 very suspicious deaths, they lend support to each other.
Preseda facing additional time for desecration of Thaddeus's remains. Investigators say he was found burned in a rural area near the edge of Madera city limits.
There was justice for Davina, for whom there may never have been justice otherwise, and justice for Thaddeus as well.
The couple does have 3 other children. Their formal sentencing will take place on July 29th. Live in the studio, Catherine Phillips, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.